Hi and welcome to a Jillibean soup tutorial. I'm Jen Gallacher and today we're using the Spoonful of Soul collection to create a scrapbooking layout. So I'm starting with a 12 by 12 sheet of white cardstock, and then I have two strips cut from the striped pattern paper. It's lemon on the other side, and I will include the supplies in the video description below. But you're going to cut two of these. They're about 1 inch by 12 inch. And then I have a longer piece, and this is actually from the bite-sized bits paper. So what I did is I have a couple sheets of this. I cut off the elements that I wanted to use, but I also loved this blue piece. So we're going to attach both of those striped layers of pattern paper behind this blue paper. And the key is just to make sure that you get the same width, the same amount of pattern paper showing on both sides. So I'm guessing it's about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. And I love that striped paper. Once you've done that, you can attach the entire thing to your page. And we're going to offset it a little bit, about 1.5 inches from the right side, or 1.25 inches. Now for this layout, I'm going to use 3 photos of my son playing in the grass. And the photos are 3¼ inch tall, about, I want to say 4.88 inches wide, but don't worry about that. I just cut 3 pieces of white cardstock to fit perfectly inside this grid here, rather this strip of paper. And I'm just making sure that there is the same distance between each element, so that it looks cohesive. And you can measure it and make pencil marks if you want. I'm just kind of eyeballing it and using the pattern paper. So you can see here 3 pieces, and now we can add our photos. So I just picked 3 horizontal photos of my son. They're kind of close up, but I love that they capture his hazel eyes and how beautiful they are, and these being a little bit pensive. This layout is about being happy and how it takes him a bit, but he gets there. As you can see in the last photo, he's starting to perk up a little bit. All right, then to decorate this photo grid, I have a piece of, or rather a Pea Pod part that has flowers on it. And it's a boy's page, but it is absolutely okay to use elements like this. Now, when you place your Pea Pod parts on a photo, just make sure you don't obscure anything. It would be really, really weird if I just came in too much on the photo, covered his ear. So I always think about stuff like that. Then from the Pea Pod parts, I have this smile tab in a goldenrod yellow. That's going to go behind his head. And then I love that they have some titles. This one says Happy in the gray that appears in this collection. It's going to go across my photo, but it's not going to obscure that smile. 2 more tabs. I have Hello and Love You. This is going to go right above the middle photo. And I love tabs, especially above photos. It just looks so pretty. And the hello, just make sure they don't cover each other. So something fun you can do with Pea Pod parts is you can create a cluster of them. I am going to actually create a long vertical cluster, and I pulled out all the flowers I could find, and I just am using them on the left side of the layout. So I have this big bold photo on this side, a couple of them. So on this side of the layout, I wanted to balance that a little bit by using some of the flowers. So one thing you can do is just pull out similar elements. I'll just kind of move them around. And it just visually fills up that space a little bit, which I love. So first we're going to start with all the long stemmed ones. Get them kind of where I want them. And there is no right way, just as long as it looks good. And then we can start attaching them with some double-sided adhesive. You can use whatever adhesive you like. One thing that, as I was thinking about where each of these elements would go, is I was trying to think, okay, I want some to point this way, I want some to point outward, and I don't want the exact same color sitting next to each other. So you can see that I have two yellows next to each other, but one is a solid and one is a little bit more open. And I'm sticking the stems kind of behind each other. So just layer, layer, layer. So any of our Pea Pod parts you can use for this technique. Pull out similar items or just items that work really well together and just start building your layout and create either a long vertical, a long horizontal cluster. You can do even just a side cluster. It's up to you. But this is a great way to use up the Pea Pod parts, plus create a big item, a big embellishment for your page. All right, so we have all these gorgeous, gorgeous flowers here. Now there are 3 flowers on here that I feel like need a little bit more oomph on them. So these are the ones that have just the little dots. So what I've done is also from the Pea Pod parts, I've pulled out a couple of extra flowers and we're gonna pop dot those on top of each of these little dot flowers. So I'll just take a medium size foam dot. I'll just cover those, and then look how much more present they look, plus the fact that they're pop dotted. They stand out just a little bit more, which I love. So go ahead and layer Pea Pod parts or stickers on top of each other, just for some additional layering. All right, rather than journaling, I'm actually going to use some of the actual word strips from the collection, because I think they're sweet. And we'll just fill in some of this space here. I'm going to use Enjoy the Ride, Life is a Beautiful Mess, and then the yellow one that says Moments Captured. We're going to offset some of them. So one is centered, and then the other 2 will be slightly offset, keeping it kind of interesting. All right, then to fill it in a little bit more, we are going to add some enamel hearts. And then we're also going to add some of these Pea Pod hearts. So we have some flat elements and we have some large elements in different colors. And then I think I want to add this cute little, I've already used the hello, so I think I'm going to add a few hearts to this top piece right here. So I'll use one enamel and then one Pea Pod, just to bring that yellow to the top. So this is a great way to use up your Pea Pod parts. Plus, I love this element here. It's just really, really pretty. And it's a great way to use up flowers, even on a boy layout. So if you like this video, take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit our website and blog for additional inspiration.